Very good morning and good afternoon, my dear friends and masters. A warm welcome to all the participants of the Coherence program for this 31st day of this program. We have been learning about the spiritual intelligence this week, and we will continue to do so with the great wisdom sharing from Chandra sir and with a powerful group meditation. Yes. Okay. With this, we hand over to, after this video, to Chandra sir.
The only thing with which we live from beginning to the end is our breath and conscience. When we are born, of course, our parents are there, but very often they live before us. But the only thing with which we are born with conscience, and the first breath when we take, then the life is born. And the last breath, when it goes out, doesn't come back, we are no more there. So these are two things which are consciously there. To put it very simply, Ana-Pana-Sati Meditation says, be aware of your breath. In any case you are doing it, why don't you become aware of that? Breath is your Guru, breath is your God, and He makes us realize it by this simple practice. All these differences in religious, colors, races, all man created. The blood is the same. Blood can be transfused from anyone belonging to any country, any religion, to anybody else also. Same thing, the breath is the same. What I breathe out, it is shared. We can't say. So we are all one because the same breath, same blood, same thought, the same path to meditation. If your mind is purified, there is no need for mantras. That's what Patriji also says. Just focus on your breath. Nothing else is required. You realize you are that. Your salvation is within yourself. You can get rid of all your negative qualities, impurities, past things. Then, the world can live in peace and perfect harmony also.
Happy morning, dear friends and masters. Great afternoon, evening. Breath-based meditation techniques are most common. Because you know the difference. With no breath, no life. So it is a very intelligent process out there. This breath is regulating the entire function of the body. When you're stressful, for example, if you just observe your breath, it calms down, and the body also automatically goes into homeostasis just by observing the breath. As the breath is, so is the body. There is a huge interconnection. If breath is observed, then it becomes gentle, it becomes uniform, and so then heart becomes uniform, the body becomes uniform, or the homeostasis. Sympathetic and parasympathetic working greatly. We have a central nervous system and then a peripheral nervous system going through the body. The central nervous system is here. The peripheral nervous system through the entire body, one is sympathetic, another is parasympathetic. Sympathetic helps us to be active. Every time you want to be alert, take action, sympathetic needs to be there. Parasympathetic is to rest and resonate. It's microcosm. It's all happening in those infinitely small seconds of time, infinitely small split seconds of time. Sympathetic gets active, gets something going, reactions go, so there's energy, so suddenly we are alert. Parasympathetic is saying, okay, rest and relax, and it slows down. So these two are uniformly, if the body works uniformly, means these two are working perfectly in unison. If this is working for 5 seconds, it works for 5 seconds. Now this is connected to the heart's emotion. This is connected to the way breath is there. So we can observe the breath and regulate the body, or we can help ourselves to elevate into a greater feeling and then regulate the body. Elevate to a greater feeling is heart elevation observing the breath, starting into it with the meditation process to begin with, and then go in, and then body becomes better and better, whole uniform. The breath is becoming uniform, and so then body goes into homeostasis, so then automatically we feel good during the period of time when we are observing. It's a great way to go into meditation. And then, of course, when you observe the breath, then the mind is, we don't put attention onto the mind. And so the mind is slowly disappearing. The thoughts of the mind are disappearing. As the thoughts disappear, of course, the body disappears because thought is form. This technique of observing breath, the most simplest, observing the breath, is helping us to activate whatever you want to call the inner senses of that awareness. Awareness is the metacognition capability of a human being to, we are acting like an actor, like a hero, heroine, or any of those actors, comedian, but then we're also the director observing from outside. We become two personalities, one who is acting, another is who is watching, the observer and the observed. And so when we do that, we of course have the greatest ability over our thought processes. Thought is creation for new experience. We have greatest observation and then control of our thought process. So then that helps us to create a new experience, a different experience. That is to create a different experience. Different experience in the body means gaining different types of health or healing different types of illnesses. Because illnesses ultimately are the culmination of sustained thought away from the way that we are supposed to think, but we think and act differently. Illness here means the way that we should have acted upon, the way we should have spoken, the way we should have thought about situations, rather than freely expressing, holding back, rather than staying calm, unnecessarily going after, talking and then casting spells on others, being very redundant, inefficiently spending energy. Then there are problems ultimately around thyroid area. So if you have an awareness of thought, but then if you know how to speak and not to speak, if you know that wisdom, then automatically the problems here will disappear. If you know how to express and how to express if you know, then the problems in this area will disappear. That is our wisdom. Through the wisdom, over a period of time, we change our thought. And so then we change our action automatically. So then health happens. Health will sure happen. If we read all the books that we recommended, 25 plus books that we recommended, and then from there you go about, as you are reading, you'll be navigated, directed to go to your next one and the next one. It's going to happen, the process. The question is, are you willing to start your journey of knowing more from this greatest masterpiece of spiritual literature? Without reading, we can go anywhere from pillar to post, but the illnesses will remain without enhancing our knowledge. All the knowledge ultimately is going to help us to unblock ourselves, unlimit ourselves, the way we think about our capabilities, the way we think about others as separate beings. We think our capability as a limited being, limited in skill, limited in time, limited in resource, everything. So the more we read, the more experiences that we can have, because that many more ways we can change our thought to be. If we're not aware of how to speak, then we have awareness, but we don't know what to do with it. Forcefully sleeping, because we have an older understanding that I have to have 8 hours sleep. So forcefully sleep, so building a lot of laziness, a tamasic quality, lethargic body. And so which means then whatever that you needed to do for you to be happy is getting procrastinated. And so when things are getting procrastinated against your core deep desire, and so that showing up as, it shows up as unhappiness because you just are not happy. What you need to do, you're not happy. You finish your experiences, you're just simply delaying, procrastinating. When you're not happy from inside, you're sending that signal saying that you're not happy, and slowly, that is coming into the body as some pain, some illness, because it has to be expressed somehow. Somehow. To give us a reminder that, you know what, you are not doing what you're supposed to do. So giving a reminder. So all illness are reminders. Get back to our real self, to get back to what we're supposed to do at any given moment. That becomes a purpose. The best way is to meditate, read. When you meditate, when you read, then you're automatically are taking right action. With that awareness, you start taking a new or different action, and you're going to land into, sooner or later, you're going to land into what really gives you happiness. It's going to happen automatically, the process. Reading and listening to others' experience to enhance our knowledge, dear friends, is so essential. Rather than trying to take shortcuts for health, shortcuts for money, shortcuts for this, shortcuts for that. If we truly recognize we can experience anything, then we enrich ourselves on scientific books, philosophy books, success stories of many people, whichever area. If you want to pursue in music, read great musicians' stories, biographies. If you want to pursue in business, read biographies of great business people. A master called George Ilian. I mean, there are plenty of books out there. George Ilian. I written some small books on, in case you are pursuing business growth, you want to be and succeed and excel into the businesses, and you read this George Ilian's books, small books about various worldwide successful people in the business side. Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, and many people that has written one small books. They sort of give you, rather than trying to get, in case you feel I can't read large books, read small ones. There are many. But knowledge must go hand in hand, dear friends, with meditation. Meditation alone, initially, is going to give us energy. And so with that energy, the blocks are cleared in the physical body, so we get healing. But then the way we think that causes the block or the patch in the body does not go unless we help ourselves with more wisdom and so knowledge, so that slowly we start implementing. For example, we said no negative talk, no redundant talk. You must implement this. We said no complaints. We said plant-based diet. We said limited food. I mean, that's limited food is responding to the body. Right sleep, respond to the body. Not what we've heard and said, this is what is necessary. We got to let go of the old and then latch onto the newer system of understanding. So then we tune into the body, then we're independent. If you get locked up, or if you get lost into Himalayas for 40 days, 50 days, no power, nothing, how do you live by yourself? We respond to the body. We truly become independent in living, no matter where we are, no matter who is there around. We have the strength to be with ourselves. Let's go into our meditation, dear friends. We're talking about the spiritual intelligence. This is spiritual intelligence. If we are recognizing that we need to change all our beliefs. And then go close to our inner nature. Inner nature is telling us, become sensitive to the body. And so then our emotional body is always telling you, your heart is telling you what is right. The feelings are telling you. In any situation, if you don't like, it is a signal. A situation, if you're not really liking. Now, a meditative person is able to then go on to the true feelings. Non-meditative person, or somebody who's got a lot of limiting beliefs and so has a lot of carrying a lot of fears. And so they're overtaken by the fear. But then as you drop that, then your true feeling comes out. I don't like, so I'm going to stand up for it. I'm going to change that part of my life. We don't just let go of it. I'm going to change that part of my life. This is how we think. So we will understand today the 6 theories of spiritual science. It's called Nature of Personal Reality, post meditation, understanding how everything is getting created and then how our lives are evolving, our experiences are coming, and is there a way we can put all of this together. Everything that's happening in somebody's life can be experienced through the 6 theories of spiritual science. We learn that wisdom post our meditation. Relax yourself, dear friends. Sit comfortably. We're practicing breath mindfulness meditation or Ana-Pana-Sati meditation. So we sit down with our eyes closed and observe our breath. To empty ourselves and then be in the state of emptiness for as long as we can. Emptiness is energy, sensation, movement can be experienced when we are there in the state of emptiness. Be with that experience, if anything happening to you involuntarily. In case you have thought, bring your attention back to the breath, dear friends, and again observe the breath. The posture is, as you see in the picture, crossing your feet at ankle, keeping your fingers into fingers, hands in your lap, comfortably rested. If you're wearing spectacles, remove them. Close your eyes. Sit comfortably and observe the breath. And before we do that, we're doing heart elevation process for a few minutes. To go into a higher emotion, just follow my guidance for it, dear friends. After doing this process for a few minutes, then we're going to breath mindfulness meditation. Relax yourself. Dear friends, dear masters, with your specs removed, eyes closed, keep your hands on your chest area. Rest your attention on your sacred heart. And can you feel your beautiful heart? Feel the seat of all emotions. It is nurturing, which is expanding all life. With its energies of kindness, compassion, gratitude. And you recollect an experience from your past, from your present, where you felt enormous kindness, compassion, gratitude, or any of the higher emotions. Relive that moment and feel that energy. Relive that moment of your life of kindness, compassion, gratitude. and feel that emotion, that energy, and allow yourself to radiate that energy onto everything and everybody on this planet. Where your attention goes, there the energy flows. We are all interconnected with each other. Compassion, kindness, gratitude, love are all the ways to find that connection again, to become coherent again. Feel it. Allow yourself to merge into your breath and allow yourself to experience that emptiness inside of you, all around you. Become aware of that emptiness of no body, of no thing. That's energy. All emptiness is energy. The longer you stay aware of this emptiness energy, the more you draw newer experiences into your life. Let's express gratitude. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. Express gratitude to your parents, your teachers, your mentors. Be grateful to your family, friends, colleagues, relatives, everybody. Your gratitude to this grand nature, the bird, the fish, and the animals, to everything you use, the technology, the government, the system, the companies. Gratitude to yourself and to this intelligent quantum field. For allowing us to experience so much more in this life. Gratitude is the ultimate state of receivership. Relax your body.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have.
Recollect your experiences from the session. And whenever you're ready, keep your hands on your eyes for 5 seconds, and then you may open your eyes. Okay, dear friends. Today we'll discuss a very important understanding of how our experiences are evolving, how our life is evolving. These are various subjects that we come across in spiritual science. So we remain open to explore. We remain open to explore. And I read a book called Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. How many people have read that book? Please put it in the chat. Many Lives, Many Masters by Brian Weiss. I read this in sometime 2001 or 2. I came into this spiritual path first time. It was a huge eye-opener for me. That is talking and establishing that there is the concept of reincarnation. It was establishing the concept of reincarnation. That there is a past life. For some religions and cultures, it is easy to understand and accept because it's part of the religion and culture. But for some, it's difficult to accept. Even now in the modern living, where the science eliminated consciousness, or the Industrial Revolution eliminated the whole idea of the consciousness, the intelligence from our studies, so many do not have a hard time accepting. It was the case with me too. I was not willing to accept this concept because it is all, the training is what you see, what you feel, what you touch is real. And then that book was explaining that how Dr. Brian Weiss was doing as a counselor, as a psychologist counselor, doing regression therapy, and then how this patient was recollecting information from the past. And so then they started recording it. In those days, tape recorders, recording it, and then he got it all played back as a proof. He preserved it and then wrote this book. That the patient is connecting to start narrating scenes and experiences which are not from this lifetime, but she seemed to have a lot of detail, giving explanation, giving that she's wearing this kind of dress, she's going through this thing, she's got some people around, she's doing this, they're doing something to her, all of that is happening. So based on all the experiences, Brian Weiss goes back, corroborates this with historical evidences of what lifetime and this and that. It completely comes to a conclusion that there is something called this past life's existence. So we're carrying our wisdom from the past. That understanding gave me a lot of clarity of why and how we all are experiencing our life sometimes very, very differently. How could somebody have a lot more talent than the other without training? If training is what makes people skilled in a given, gain certain expertise, then how could somebody without having anything will be there? We call it luck. The science, wherever it didn't explain, It uses two words. And when we are scientific, we say, but then when we can't explain, we say luck or we say random. Two words are there to rescue. Oh, it randomly happened. Oh, there's some luck. That's how it happened. But spiritual science, there is no concept of luck. Everything is perfectly explained when you understand these concepts. So let's look at these theories. These are woven through various experiences, and Patriji spoke about it. Every now and then. There are 6 theories of spiritual science, or I call this nature of personal reality. There are 2 realities, cosmic reality and personal reality. Personal reality is dealing with how things are created for us as an individual. Cosmic reality is the whole existence. In Advaita Vedanta, when Adi Shankaracharya postulated and said, we are an individual consciousness, use the word soul, we are that soul, Atma, and then there is ever existing, everlasting, everything that is called the group consciousness or the Paramatma, the both are there. And then he postulated, said, both are same, they're not different. They're one. So your highest self, that intelligence that is governing us, that is driving us, and then you and we all have, each of us have our own intelligence, but they all become one in this whole. So the science dealing with your intelligence, yourself, it's called the Atma or the soul, is the nature of personal reality, nature of cosmic reality, the one that deals with everything that are out there. Now, it's not just about people, it's about planets, it's about everything, the stars, all that ever exists, cosmic reality. So we'll deal with this personal reality. First thing it is saying is that it's called theory of consciousness. Everything is originating from emptiness. Everything that's created here comes from nothing. Nothing to something. So from a quantum physics, we understood it's all emptiness and energy. Right? For science is at our rescue. We all emptiness and energy. But from physical point of view, look at, the life is thriving from nowhere, right? How is this? How is all these different entities are coming out of nowhere? You have some food item, it's completely sealed, contained, but something comes out after you don't use it for a long time. That insect or worm is not there, but it creates, it's there, it somehow comes there. You thought it sealed it everywhere, physical, right? It doesn't matter, you sealed everywhere, but it generates itself from inside. A seed is there. You thought it's nothing, it's so tiny, tiny, but then it becomes a big tree from nothing to something. Wasteful wood pieces are there, wasteful paper is there, wasteful stones are there, but the people who are skilled making something out of them. The stone is there, we thought it's of no use, but the sculptor actually brings a beautiful statue out of it. From nothing, something comes. Now this goes on for a long time. and then it transforms itself into something newer again later. A seed grows into plant to a huge tree, and after a few hundreds of years, then the tree recycles itself and goes into becoming a next form and next form. So everything is coming from nothing. Companies did not exist. The entity doesn't exist. Nothing is there. Then somebody thinks about it and says, okay, let me form something. And so then they form in a virtual stuff. Let's say Facebook, it got formed. Then a lot of people come together. Then you actually have something created out of it. We call it an entity now. Nothing was there, but then you have this huge entity now. For a period of time, it cycles back, becomes large enough, gets broken up into many things. No longer the original exists, but now it's taken a new shape, new form. And then when it's broken up into many things, the purpose, the ideas, the notions change. So there's probably do something very different from what it is. So then the entity is different completely. But nothing, something came, it transforms itself into a newer and newer and newer. This is happening all the time. So here, conceptually, the spiritual science is saying that we're evolving from mineral kingdom to a plant kingdom, to an animal kingdom, to a human kingdom, to an angelic kingdom. They're all different frequencies of experiences. Consciousness exists everywhere. We know that plants have consciousness. Everything has consciousness. Look at it from that perspective. You get a little bit of exposure to this understanding from a book called Soul's Journey by Peter Richelieu. So from energy to matter, matter going back to energy, that's how we say from quantum physics, energy to matter. How is the matter coming? Through our observation, attention. And then as long as you put your observation, attention, it stays. And then when you withdraw your attention, it disappears. You know that. A car remains a new car only till the point you put your attention on it. When you withdraw your attention, then start getting scratches, dusty, and this and that, rusting, everything happens, you know it. When you put your attention, you don't let anything happen because the energy flows onto it. It remains the way you expect it to be because it remains the way you put your attention onto. So nothing to something to everything coming back to, going back to becoming nothing. It's called Srishti Sthiti Laya in Sanskrit. Brahma, Vishnu, Shiva. The creator, the one you create, then you sustain it with your attention, and then withdraw your attention, it goes back, it dissolves into the things. Who is important? All are important to experience life. The second theory is saying is that is theory of reincarnation. Theory of reincarnation, that when something is coming out of nothing, and that something is always transforming into a newer form, and so there is always continuity of consciousness going from one form to another. So there's continuity of life. There is continuity of life. Because now you see, you corroborate with all the experience of people when they go into regressions or in your meditations, you look back and you connect back into some scenes and you feel you are a singer, you feel you are a sportsman, you feel you are actually doing a lot of lectures as some master in the past life. many things, sort of you get dreams, you get some of the experiences. And of course, there is a specific concept of past life regression, where you go in and then you start connecting to a different life where you probably were in an accident, you were in some kind of deep illness, and something that sort of helps you to relive a moment of the past, which will help you to sort of release from that tension and pressure or the phobia. Many of those things are possible where people look into it. Now, from a scientific understanding perspective, if everything is energy, and from energy we become matter as an experience, after experience, the matter is dissolving, so it's going back. That experience that we had, where is it gone? It's all, that understanding of the experience is there, is gone back into energy. It is sitting there as energy again. The energy became matter. The matter goes back to energy, right? So you cannot go away. I mean, it can't disappear. Disappear from physical reality, but it is there, back in an energy field. So whatever experiences we finished, they're finished, meaning where we said we're sufficient with it, we no longer want to have that experience. If I experienced a car 3 times and say, I don't need this car anymore, enough is enough. I'll go by ride with somebody. Oh, this car is a possession, is a painful thing. I don't want it anymore. I'm good the way I am. If you have experienced a house, you say, okay, enough houses. So let me become free of all these things. It's after realizing, understanding that we are done with that experience. But where we haven't finished experience, where we still have desires of something more, and so that something more, and thoughts create reality, is pending to happen. And so it is there in the quantum field, still trying to find its target. If we wanted to establish a large company and then we couldn't do it, and then we've been dreaming about, thinking about, constantly intending, but didn't happen, sure enough, that experience of wanting to create, where you are dreaming and visualizing, so you put in enough energy into the quantum field for it to materialize physically, has not happened. And so it must happen at some point, and somebody has to be there to observe it. And so that's concept of reincarnation. So you're coming back. And before you finish that experience, and if you vacate the body, the body did not support it, disappear. But all your experiences are there, what we call samskara, they're all there. It contains 2 aspects. One is our collective learning from the past, or personality, a collective learning from the past is all there as a what that defines what we are. Think of it as a dense energy within this whole energy field. All your experiences are all dense energy within this whole energy field. If you have pockets of energy in the entire field of energy, and each one is representing one entity, all our experiences are energy ultimately, and so they're all together. So from there we have this learning which we carry forward, what we are fundamentally defined. And then from there we carry forward things that we wanted to experience, we call karma. Things that we wanted to experience, but were not fulfilled. They're all there pending. And so then we take another form, because it's get observed again somewhere. And so then we are there observing the newer experience. Scientists and then past life regression therapists, thousands of people have gone through them, the trained therapists, where you connect to your past and then you relive the past, and so you seem to have become free from that issue, or if something is holding you back. So the theory of reincarnation, Dr. Ian Stevenson's books you can read. Ian Stevenson was hired by one of the government agencies in USA to disprove the reincarnation theory, because they thought, okay, people are coming with all kinds of stuff. But then he went about researching And then he did exactly opposite of it by writing that reincarnation exists, by documenting cases of reincarnation, cases of studying children, young children, who would not just cook up things. Children below 5 or 6 years, he took the case studies who have been telling different things. And then so he studied them and said, yes, reincarnation exists. This really solves mysteries. A boy, for example, who is fearful of a bus. Every time he goes near the bus, he just gets scared and just runs away. In Thailand, so he understands what is happening. And then he's a 6-year-old or 7-year-old boy. So he tries to find, the regression happens on him. So then he discloses that, okay, he was going through an experience of actually getting into an accident. The bus was traveling by in that area, just falls over and then plunges into a deep ditch. And so then he dies in that bus accident. And so then he was reborn in a nearby area. So he counts and then he narrates that story of who is reborn to. So they try to go. And then there is only 6 or 7 years later, this boy is reborn. So they try to go back and then look at the people who lived in that area. And this is how he collaborates. He goes back to look at people who lived in that area as per the past life experience. And they determine that, yes, he was born to a teacher or whatever, and then they were cycling when they were the teacher parent was taking the boy, then suddenly something happens, and then so he died. I'm sorry, he was part of this bus and then the bus fell off and so they died. So Ian Stevenson has written books to understand that by demonstrating that it exists. We must explore this concept because it gives so many understandings. There's no more a luck. If somebody is very beautifully singing at the age of 8, because they must have been great singers in the past. If somebody is able to naturally do business at the age of 12, they must have been great businessmen. If somebody is able to get to deep meditation experiences now, they must have been done a lot of meditation in the past. We essentially start from where we left. If in this lifetime, for example, if you finish 4th grade, let's say you go to school, you finish 4th grade, will you do 4th grade again? You say no. You want to start from 5th grade. So we are reincarnating to experience life after life after life to newer things. And we're all differently there, created, and we are experiencing different aspects of this consciousness, which is infinite. I experience a mango differently, you experience differently, completely. I experience Himalayas differently, you experience differently. I use the phone for one purpose differently, use it differently. We're here experiencing a life differently. And so we came about with different personalities. So now the reincarnation exists. Michael Newton talks about soul evolution. How we start off as an infant soul, then a baby soul, then a young soul, then a mature soul, an old soul. Then an transcendental soul, an infinite soul. There is soul evolution that we're talking about in reincarnation. When we read these books of Michael Newton, we understand that our personality changes from level to level. As we are reincarnating, we are different personality. Initially, we are those who are saying, I am the only one exists. We are fearful. Nobody exists ever. If somebody comes to us, we become territorial. We are really trying to jump onto them. And more you see in the native tribes, territorial. The second stage is I exist, you exist. Third stage is together we exist, and so then we collaborate. The second stage is I exist, you exist. The only way we can cooperate is through having some rules and restrictions. So the stages go on in how we live, and some of us are falling into certain categories, but the evolution is happening to each of us. And so we understand why some people behave the way, even though you tell some people, hey, save, why are you spending away everything? Tomorrow, I don't even know whether you can eat. So have a little bit. They don't understand. I even want to save. Some people will tell them, how can you just blindly go and then with force take things? There's some rational, but they don't understand because they've not evolved. The revolution doesn't happen. So much you tell that they cannot take it. The intellect is not there, it is not evolved yet. So that's why in spiritual science it said everybody is right. Everybody is right, dear friends, in spiritual science. Because everybody is evolving at different levels. The theory of consciousness is saying from nothing, something originates and then it transforms into newer and newer form. It's always transforming into something newer. The tree transforms into something newer as it falls out, dies, goes into the earth and becomes, the sediments and all of that form, and ultimately moves into a mineral or some kind of a higher, maybe goes into coal transforms some kind of energy. There's always a transformation happening. And the theory of reincarnation is saying that we are taking on to experience our lifetimes. One lifetime we are a Hindu, another lifetime we are Muslim, another lifetime we are Christian, one lifetime we are male, another lifetime we are female. We choose the setting and environment. That's the theory of reincarnation, saying we choose an environment. Not random. People who were born in India, but then for the entire lifetime, they found it natural to live in the United States, another country. And so then you're not, it's random. You're taken, but then you had some potential past connection there. And that's why you go there and then live the rest of the life. Some people are born elsewhere, they come and speak some great Tamil language, great Telugu language, even though they're born elsewhere. Naturally comes, they sing bhajans, naturally comes, must have had a great connection, the cultural connection of the past. We all are taking different areas, different cultures, different places to experience life differently. Experience life differently. Let's even understand today, when I say if I'm a Hindu today, how do I know that I'm a really Hindu? For how long? Weren't people migrated from place to place and they changed their religion, they changed their cultures over a period of time? We know it all the time. We know it has happened. We know it's happened. All of this, who created this whole religion and caste, it all was not there before, but then they all came with a certain understanding. The founders of religions created with a great intention that there is some intelligence out there, that we can reach that intelligence. While we are here to experience life, but being aware of that intelligence, and so then you experience life. You can reach them and you can be part, you are the same. Aham Brahmasmi was there, created, is Vedas, is considered the deepest truths, oldest, deepest truths. But we went away from it, and then slowly things got distorted. And the religion and many things, people then, in order to gain power, created a caste system, community systems, many things happened like that. One world became many pieces into many countries. Nothing existed before. It's all one. So the reincarnation, dear friends, is telling, and what is reincarnation? We are taking lifetimes to generally, in the entire lifetime in a reincarnation, our experience of a lifetime remains same. Either we are male or female for the whole lifetime experience. In low lifetime, if I've taken a Hindu birth, so generally I have gotten a certain level of experience by being that culture, the religions, things that follow, many things. It's a different type of experience. That's all it is. Nothing special about anything. Nothing special about anything. They're all similar. It's we make something special, trying to somewhere, trying to win over. The illusion or erasure of the mind has taken over. And so we think somebody is superior, somebody is inferior. With material more possession, some whole races have become and said, I'm more superior because they've got more material possession. Some say I've got more spiritual possessions, I'm more superior. But at the consciousness level, we're all the same, we're all the same stuff, we're all equal. The same single energy field, you and I are all the same, connected. So we will stop here and understand the remaining tomorrow in this concept of 6 theories of spiritual science. But the first one is saying that there's always newer form, there's evolution happening. The second one is saying you come and go, so this whole concept of death must disappear. The fear of death is what holds anybody back from doing things in life. The fear of death must disappear. Jatasya dhruvam mrityuho, dhruvam janma mritasya cha. In Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita, the whole second chapter is only about reincarnation. It's all about reincarnation. Jatasya dhruvam mrityuho, guaranteed that if you're born, you're going to have death. Dhruvam janma mritasya cha, guaranteed if you're died, you're going to be born again somewhere. Now, from a quantum physics perspective, it's multi-dimensional, multiverse being. Universe, is it one? It's not. There are so many verses out there. So it's called multiverse because different frequencies. There are different frequencies, so the multiverse, the whole quantum field is spanning multiverses. And multi-dimensional being means that different, within this universe, the different dimensions, Earth planet, one frequency, physical. Slightly different frequency, within Earth planet, human has a frequency, animals have a slightly different frequency, they sense, they perceive many, many experiences that we can't, right? They see things that we can't, different frequencies. So we call it multidimensional, so it's all frequency at which we tune in. And so we are at a frequency, and when we are experiencing some part of the life, some part of this whole spectrum, in terms of seeing, in terms of hearing. The spectrum is infinitely huge. And then we only are able to see as a human being 0.1, but then there is so much more. And so that's where we are experiencing differently over different potentially planets and then galaxies and stars. How can we ever say that it is not there? Life forms are not there. Our whole pursuit is to find life elsewhere. But through spiritual science, through spiritual understanding, through meditative experiences, through reincarnation, past life regressions, people are constantly seeing their past and future. They're connecting and seeing life on the planets and the other stars. Judy Satori, Sunshine Before the Dawn, a lot of channel material. We recognize and say how the life is on Sirius, star Sirius. Now, she has written, there are many people like her have connected and written because they've channeled a lot of information. Now you say, is it real, not real? It's a perspective. Now, if you want to experiment, you go and explore. The techniques are there. Channeling is a great technique. You can look at and practice the channeling technique, and then you go and then channel. Everything requires one to drop this disbelief and then have to become very curious. And then if you have to become curious, and then if you're open to receiving, and then you go into the meditative states, and then you start doing auto-writing, channeling, and many things are possible. So some are that they're channeling information about a place, an entity, or somewhere from some part of the quantum field. That's all it is. At Pyramid Valley, we invited speakers in this event called Global Congress of Spiritual Scientists. All the time we met many, many such speakers, who are downloading information. Each one has a talent. Each of us coming with some talents. So some have the talent of channeling. Some have the talent of, sensing people. By looking at people, they start sensing clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience. Through feelings, I know more about them. Through visions, by looking at them, I get visions of what's going to happen to them. Through, I hear sounds, and then so I know more about them. So you're gifted the capability to utilize for the right purpose. Nothing new. So we all come with different skills and talents. Again, where it is coming from? It's coming from our past of what we wanted to experience this lifetime. So then it becomes our fundamental requirement is to know why we came here. Purpose. We'll talk about purpose later next week. But when we came here, what is that unique talent? Why did I exist? Is it simply just like everybody to come and then produce kids and raise them and go? That's our life? No, there's got to be some purpose of why you came with something. And if you align to it, it's great. In most cases, we align to it, by the way. In most cases, we align to it. So the good news is, in most cases, we're aligning. We're deviating, and then we get pushed back through some challenge, and then we start aligning back to it. So we don't have to fundamentally worry about that part. Now, meditation helps us to accelerate that alignment. It helps us to remove the deviation, reduce the deviations back towards the alignment of what we came here for, so that we experience life most beautifully, joyfully. So we'll talk about this rest of the laws theories tomorrow. So thank you very much. Ratanavel and announcements. And I thought we were going to, somebody is there today?
Yep.
What did you say?
Radhika ma'am's sharing today.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes.
Not sharing. Radhika madam, where is Radhika madam?
Yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for the wonderful session and meditation. And one quick announcement is today we have a book club, being the Wednesday, which is Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, at 8:15 a.m. IST to 9:15 a.m. IST. And the same book also being discussed in the evening, which is at between the 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST. And followed by, we'll listen to Radhika ma'am. I think she's there. Yeah, Radhika ma'am's experience sharing today. Yes.
I wanted some of Buddhas used to come and give the messages. Where is Radhika madam? We don't find her. Never mind. All right, friends. So thank you very much. And so if there are any questions, we will take. I would like to listen to your meditation experiences. We are learning a lot of concepts in this, and this whole spiritual science theories will help us to gain some clarity. So help us set in a direction to explore. Until we explore, things remain mystery. When I explored, so they fell in place perfectly. And so the why me questions, why not me questions become easy to, we pose questions, different questions, and then we gain more answers through this understanding. So thank you. See you tomorrow. Okay.
So Ashok sir has raised the hand. Can we go ahead? So, yeah. So Ashok sir has raised the hand. Shall we go ahead?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Ashok sir, please unmute us.
Thank you, Chandra sir. And thank you, Ratanavel sir, and thank you, all the masters. Sir, regarding this theory of reincarnation, I want to know that as now in the spiritual sciences, we are understanding that we reincarnate next life, where we end our past life and we want to experience whatever we felt in the past life.
Your camera is pointing to your mic. Is that intended? Not pointing.
No, sir.
It's not pointing to your face, it's pointing to the chargers.
Sorry.
You have to.
Sorry, sir. Something.
You have to switch. Now you are back. Yes.
Yes, sir.
You're using the reverse camera.
Reverse camera. Okay.
Now you're good. No, now you've gone back to the reverse. Yeah, now you're good.
Should
Now
I
go.
continue, sir? Should I continue?
Continue.
Sir, I was talking about regarding this theory of reincarnation, and what I am learning is, sir, that whatever we left in the past life and we wanted to experience and we couldn't experience, then we reincarnate and to have that experience, sir. But on the other hand, in our Hindu granthas and Hindu this thing, they say that if somebody gives a curse, and then one gets reincarnated to get rid of that curse, to dissolve that curse. So both are the same, and I feel that both are different. I don't know. I'm slightly confused, sir. Between the curse and yes, sir. Please.
You have to explore this concept of curse.
Okay, sir.
You have to explore this. For example, let's look from a simpler understanding of here, life here.
Right, sir.
Right? Let's say between a mother, a teacher, and a student.
Right, sir.
If the student was supposed to take care of the teacher for whatever reason he didn't, and then a teacher is also not unconditional for various reasons, I wanted the student to learn the hard way. And so he says, he gives them a big mouthful. You are so stupid, you're just like this, you don't even understand, you're going to be regretting for this, what you have done it, right?
Yes, sir.
You get into some difficulty, so that's the way you're going to learn it, so be it. And you have to go through difficulty for you to learn. If that's what the teacher said, suppose strongly, with a lot of feeling. Now, the student has two choices. If the student is aware, the student is strong, then if he feels right to his conscience, that he is able to say strong. If he feels right to his conscience, that he's done everything right. Right?
Yes, sir.
And then if he does not take those, he's not creating any new. If he does not take those words, that means he's not influenced, he's not impacted with those words. Then he is carrying on his life. But the moment he succumbs to the pressure, because in his conscience is not right, he should have done the way the teacher or whatever the event, whatever reason, but he should have done, but he didn't do it. And so then he becomes weak enough that he'll take all the words and said, okay, I know my teacher said it, I'm going to experience this, something bad, that's the way I'm going to do it. All the spiritual science is saying all is happening like this, that you are accepting and not accepting. That agreement, you are agreeing and not agreeing to it. The moment you agree, then you are setting certain thing, a certain desire, and conscious, unconsciously, the desire is going there, intention is going there to experience something. Or now I have to experience worse because I screwed up. And I made my teacher so angry. He did all these things, energy to me, then I'm going to experience this and it's going to happen to me. And so we accept this and then we go in. This is how you're creating an event. If you didn't here, but when you go back, when we go back, we are reassessing all our life events. When we go back, when we vacate the body, when we're reassessing all our life events. Just the way everything has got a similarity on the earth school here. Just the way when you finish one vacation, you come back and you assess before you take another vacation to the same place, suppose that you're doing, you're asking, hey, what should I do and not do? What is the thing that I should avoid? Last time people told me I didn't avoid. Instead, I got into trouble. So I think I should take care of it. So we are reassessing before we take another lifetime to say what to experience. One is what to experience. Second is what to experience. Quote, you want us to complete this session faster. So one is what to experience. Second is what not to experience. So this is when we recollect. So one of those teacher events will also come into picture there. Oh, I should have done something, but my teacher was really mad at me. And why did I do what I did and shouldn't. And so there you're making decisions to experience whatever the teacher wanted to experience as a learning, because there it's everything is learning. Unless we agree to it, nothing is happening because we are the consciousness. So coming back to tying in, now without commenting too much on the curse that is happening, I want you to see the curse as an heightened interaction between two entities, two people in one lifetime. Which is the way it's presented, since the people who are giving the curse had the highest amount of energy, highest amount of knowledge and wisdom, and then those who are receiving it are lesser in their understanding. So then naturally the defense is weak. So they are taking it from others. If they are enlightened enough that they probably will not take then, but then enlightened enough, meaning when you go into the trying to experience what you want to experience, there you probably are looking at life events and say, I should not repeat what my teacher didn't want. And why did I repeat? Why did I go and kill people? I shouldn't have never repeated, because every person has got their own life experience to do. I killed, my teacher was so mad. Yes, sure enough, he's going to be mad because I had no right to do it. How do I not kill? And what is the suffering that I caused by killing to all the family members? I must go into the similar situation to feel that suffering firsthand so that I will never, ever do that same thing again. So then we take in a life form which is exactly